Hi and welcome to Fast Food Restaurant Develop in C#. So let me show you guys how this works. I'll start by resetting that there. Okay, you can always select whatever item you want or whatever takeaway you want and enter how many you like in there, just like I'm doing now. Okay, let's go for dessert. We want 5 of those and 6 of these, and let's come for drinks, maybe 2 of these, 4 coffees, maybe orange juice and water. Then we have shakes, let's say 5 of those. So all you need to do is to select method of payment. Is either you select this, which is credit card, MasterCard, and click on total, or if you select cash, then you have to enter the cash you intend to pay in there. Let's say you actually hand in £100. If you click on that, that gives you the change, and if you have a good look at it, by the time you add all of these together, you end up with £100. So what I'll do now is to take you guys straight into C# development environment, and we'll put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Hi and welcome to C# Fast Food Restaurant Management System. So I'm going to start by clicking on New Project. Now that this dialog box is here, okay, we select Visual C# and select Windows Form Application, and right there, let's give that a name. I'm going to call it C# underscore fast underscore food. Let's click on OK. Okay, now I'm going to select the property and define the size of this form. Let's go for 1368 by, I want to go for 800 just to fill up the whole space. There, and let's pop into the toolbox, select, I need some panels there. That's one for up here, another one for down here, one for the middle, another one for the middle, and one here as well. Okay, these two, I'm going to select it and just drag it that much, and let's select it all and change the border style. Let's come to the border style right there. I'm going to change it to fixed 3D right there. Now select these 3 and just drag them down, and also let's increase the size that much and bring this back in a little bit. Select it all, drag it again, right there. Okay, so the next thing I will do is to add some messages here. So let's come in here, grab a label. Let's go for labels, L right there, and we need checkbox and text box. Let's go for text box here. Okay, drag this up there and copy this across. Take this down a little bit, and we need some labels here. I can always copy the labels up here, bring that in here. We actually need about 4 of those here. Let's grab a combo box. Combo box here. And then we need one label underneath here. We need a text box here. And just copy this across, and let's copy it that much. We're gonna need more of those there. Let's drag it that much. Take this down a little bit. so there's enough room for this one too. Okay, let's do that now. Alright, what I'm going to do is just speed it all up, the design of the interface, so that you guys so that won't take much time for us. Or maybe just get rid of this, copy this across there, and move this down. There's some combo box in here and text box. Yeah, what about that? Bring it in here and here. Let's just give that a name. Fast food restaurant. Increase the font size. So let's increase the font size of that to about, let's see. Okay, now let's come in here. Or maybe. Alright, let's get rid of this and just come in here, bring this down, and we'll add our buttons there. Add some buttons here. About that. Okay, I'm just gonna speed it all up and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, this is how the interface looks. Now let me run it so that you guys can see it. There we go, guys. So the first thing I like to do is, you see this, there's nothing here. I'm gonna double click on that and just take care of my exit button. So with the exit button, let's declare as follows. Let's go for dialog result, and the variable is going to be I exit. So I exit equals message box dot show as follows. Exit. Okay, let's say confirm you want to exit this system. There. And in here, let's enter the title, comma, and the title is fast food. Then we have comma, message box dot, let's say yes, no, comma, message box icon dot question. There. So that is for my dialog box. Now we need to enter semicolon here. I'm going to move it this way so that you guys can see all of the codes there. Okay, right in here, let's use if I exit equals dialog result. Let's see, dialog result dot yes, and now we enter curly braces there, application dot exit and enter parentheses there. So that is my exit. So if I run it, let's make sure it's saved, build and run. Click on that, no, click on it, yes, that's fine. Okay, now that we've taken care of the exit button, the other thing we need to do is we need to be able to reset this text box back to 0, and the checkbox, we need to make sure the check is unchecked. So to do that, what I will do now is, let me use a function here. Okay, let's come down here, right underneath the reset button itself. I'm going to enter private void, let's call that reset text box. Okay, text boxes, because I do have a lot of those. Now press enter and enter a curly braces there. Then the next thing is, let's use the following method: action less than control dot control, let's say control collection, that's the method we're going to be using, and we close that, and let's say function equals nil, enter your semicolon. Now the next thing we want to do is the function itself, let's say equals controls with an S. Okay, let's get that and just add an S to it, controls, and that is meant to be that, and let's enter curly braces there. Then we now use a for each control, for each controls, control in controls. Okay, now let's settle the whole thing with an if statement. If control is text box, right? If control is text box, what I want the control to do is, let's say control as text box, close that, dot text equals 0 there, and else the function declared equals, let's go for control dot controls, and enter our semicolon there, and here we need to then enter, let's take care of this, we need to enter column there. Then we then need to close the controls here, copy that and paste that right in here, and delete all of this. So let's change, let's take care of that. That should be lowercase, and here as well. Alright, so that is fine. So if we run it, just take a good look at it. But before then, we're going to have to call this function, this private function declared. We're going to have to call this in the reset button. So you come in here, double click on the reset button, and right there, paste that in there, and then enter your semicolon. So if I run it, let's run and see. So right here, if I click on this, you won't notice the difference, but if I enter some data in there, and let's come in here, enter some stuff in here, so click on the reset button, there. Okay, you see how that works? That is very easy, and it's much easier than the other one. But now let's take a good look at this. Look at this. I like this control to also work for this. So if I click on, let's say I enter some data in there, the checkbox, I like it to do the same thing. You see, nothing is happening to this checkbox. So what I will do is I'm going to copy all of this, copy this, and write down here. I'll paste that and change the name to checkbox. Checkboxes. Okay, copy this and paste it right inside the reset button. Paste that in there. That is that, but we then need to change the text box to checkbox. Copy that and paste that in there. That's checkbox. Yeah, checkbox there, and another checkbox here. That should take care of that, but in this case I want this to be dot checked equals false. Right there. You see, look at the function to clear checkbox. It's the same lines of code with that of the text box. So if I run it, let's see, click on this, and this, then click on reset. Maybe we enter some values in here. Okay, click on reset. There guys, you see how that works. That's easy. Okay, now then we need to now enter some data in here. So let's double click on the form load itself. Exit, click on exit. Yes, come right in here, double click on form. Let's get the form load into action. So we start that by saying CMB payments method dot items dot add. So the first one I'm adding, there's going to be nothing in there, and the second one, I'm just going to copy that. The second one is going to be here. So this one will be known as cash, followed by maybe MasterCard, followed by Visa card, and finally let's go for debit card. There. So if I run it, what will happen is this should appear in the or on the combo box right there guys. See that? Okay, that's fine. Okay, the other thing is I would like all of this component, the text box, to become disabled when the systems are running. So maybe a function might be able to take care of that. So what I'll do is, instead of writing long line of code, I'm going to copy these again, that very function, and I bring it down here, or maybe right underneath here actually. Paste that in there. Now change that to enable text there. So in here, but I'll come right here and enter enable equals false. So that is for the text box. So if I copy this enable text box and then double click on the form load right here, let's enter that here. Okay, and enter semicolon. So I'd like you guys to have a good look at it. Where is it? It's right here. So maybe we should put a break in there and just call it text enable or enable text so that you don't mix it. Enable text, and this one is the one below it. That will be reset checkbox, and the one above it okay, that will be reset text box. Now from here down here, that is for exit, and that is the function to reset text box. This function will disable the text box, and this will disable or uncheck the checkbox. Okay, and this is where those two functions are called, the reset button. Now from load, we load up the following onto the combo box, and enable text box is called. So if I run it, enable text box will be called, and all of the component is disabled, as you guys can see. Okay, so that's fine. We want to be able to click on the checkbox and enable this text box. So let's give this a try. So exit out and double click on this very first one here, and we enter as follows using an if statement. If chk fries dot, let's say checked, I think it's going to be equals true. Now enter our curly braces there. We now want txt fries dot text equals play, and txt fries dot focus. Okay, then the other thing is we will also want it txt fries dot enable equals true. There. Okay, maybe we should place this one right on top, right there. Okay, else we want these two, and this becomes false. Why this becomes that? Okay, so that's the whole idea. Is for once this is checked, this should become enable. The text content disappeared. Focus is set on that text box, else the opposite will happen. So let's run it and see. Right there, guys, if I click on this component here, this checkbox, you see that now I can enter my data in there, and if I uncheck there, or let's see if the reset works. Reset right there, guys. So what I will do now is I will speed up the whole process for all of this checkbox using the same line of code, this very one. Let's say I copy this. So what I meant by that is double click on salad, paste that in there, knowing fully well it's just salad that I need to enter. Just copy and paste it all there because I have named my component using the proper way of naming your program, and that makes life easy for me. You see that, guys? So if I run it now, the second one, you see that? Undo, run it again, reset. Okay, see how easy it is. So I will now speed that up. Alright, guys, I have managed to finish checkbox codes. Have a look at it. It's all the same apart from the changes and the names, and that is it. Okay, the next thing I think we should do now is to declare some variables, or some constant actually, let's declare some constant right up here. Let's go right up here. There. So I will declare as follows: constant. Let's go for double, and I think I should give that a name, and that will be price underscore BO, that's bottle of water. So that's my very first constant. So I'm just going to copy this and replicate 21 of those and just change it around for the rest of the variables that I intend to add. Okay, now the next variable, I'll change that to cheese sandwich right there, and let's change the price of cheese sandwich to maybe about £2.30. Okay, now that you get the idea, I'll then speed this up. Okay guys, and those are the variables declared, actually constants declared. Now let's declare some variables. So we call that I tax, that is 1, and let's declare another one, and we call that I sub total, and I total, there. Okay, now that those are declared, the next thing I would like to do now is to start work on the total. But before then, let's have a look at these lines of code first. Okay, but before I can start work on the total, let's come here. I think I'm gonna have to get this sorted once and for all. Alright, so let's use an if statement. Let's copy this first. So if CMB payment method dot text equals cash. Now let's enter collaborations. Okay, if it's equals cash, that means txt payment method dot enable equals true. Close that. Now payment method itself, now payment method dot text, let's get it cleared. Okay, once that is cleared, what else do we want payment method to do? We now want payment method focus to be set on payment method right here. There. Else we want these two there. We want this to become false and this becomes 0 there. So that is for the payment method. So let's save that and run it and see what will happen. Okay, if we run it, click on this, nothing happens with that. But if we click on select the cache there, okay, let's say we select this back, that's fine. Okay, that's good. So that's what I want, and it's working the way I want. Now let's have a good look at the total. Double click on total. Okay, to start with this total itself here, we need to declare some. Let's declare an array right there, and for each of the array I've now assigned each of the component, whatever is inside the txt fries is multiplied by the price, which is, and that's supposed to be the constant right up here. That is it right there. Now, so what I will do is speed that up. Let's come underneath here and assign the rest of the price as follows. And right here I have the rest of the arrays have now been assigned the content on the text box and the price as well, multiplied by the content. There they are. Now the next thing we need to do, so that will be for us to declare, let's declare a local variable. That variable, I'm going to call it cost. The cost, we'll be using that for, that will be for my change. And let's use an if statement. If CMB payment method dot text equals, I think that will be equals that, then we want I subtotal right there to be equals the value of the following calculations. So let's go for the very first one here, this plus the second one should be 0, that's 1. Okay, and go for 2 and so on. So I'm just gonna speed that up. Okay, here are all the calculations. All of the content in the array are now calculated here. The next thing is let's assign it all here. Alright, now that we have that in there, we now need to take care of, let's take care of the tax itself. So as for the tax, let's work out the tax rate. So let's go for I tax equals, we need this really, let's get that, paste it in there, and let's multiply that by tax rate right there and divide by 100. That should give us the tax. Now we now need a tax, so this one will become LBL tax there. As LBL tax, taking the total of I tax right there. Now let's take a good look at I total. So I total equals, let's add this very one, copy that, let's just paste it in a bracket. I total equals this plus I tax. That should give us the total, and in the case of I total, that will become all of these. We change this to I total and this one to I total. That gives us the total. Now we have the total, we have the tax, and we have the subtotal. But there's one more thing left, and that is supposed to be the change, because we are now using the cash. So in the case of cash, let's try this out first before we take care of the cash. Right there, select anything in there and just enter some values in there. Okay, let's total that up right there. So as you can see, you add this together, you get that. Okay, that's about right. But we're using cash, we should be able to enter the customer's money there and deduct it from this. Okay, so let's try to do that now. Okay, to achieve that so that we can get the change, let's come in here and payment method. Let's declare another variable here, right here, comma, let's call that I change. That's the customer's change. In the case of the change, let's come down in here and we come into change equals whatever is inside the payment method. So let's go for convert to double. Whatever inside the payment method, convert dot to double, and let's say txt payment dot text. Right, now we've got those values. Now let's go for cost equals whatever we have inside I change minus, let's open a bracket, that's going to be this and this. Okay, let's say I tax plus I total. So that should give us the change. Now we want this inside the text box. So let's say LBL change dot text equals, let's convert everything in there now. Convert that. So what we're converting is going to be to string. So put that in there. And what we're converting in this case happens to be the cost. There. So that is the change also taken care of. That is nice. Now we need to convert 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need to convert that to pound sign. Okay, now to add a pound sign to all of this, let's start with the tax. Okay, that is for the tax. So now copy that. Let's copy that for the rest. So this would be, let's use that for the change. And in the case of change, let's get this in there. Right, now for tax, that is correct. Let's go for the subtotal. For the subtotal, that's for the subtotal. We get that and add that in here. That's the subtotal, and just change this to subtotal. And this, the next one will be total. And that is meant to be I total. There. Okay, so that's it all converted to pound sign. Now, else, if it's not this, okay, this is what I want the system to do. I'm going to copy all of this, and if it's not cash, so I would like it to be, let's say else. Let's move that up so that you can see it. Else, I've already copied that, and we enter all of the content copied here. I'll copy all of those again so that you can see it. Okay, the only bit we don't need is the change. Okay, come in here, paste that in there, right there. And the change, look at the change, this one, we don't need that at all, so we get rid of that, because else means the customer might be using credit card or direct debit. Alright, there, I think that's all there is to it. So have a good look at the total codes. Here we go. Take it from the top, from the array there, bring it down, and there. So I'm gonna run it. So right there, guys, I'll select any of those, enter whatever I want in there. Okay, let's come in here as well. Ash brown and vanilla cone, maybe tea. Just select cash. Okay, let's say the customer give us £50 note right there. Look at that, guys. If you add all of these together, that should give us this, and if you add everything together, we should be able to get £50. Add this and this to this, we should get £50 there. Okay, so with that, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you all enjoyed, so you have a nice day now. Bye for now.